It's a rape. It's a rape. It's a rape. It's a rape.
First of all, there's no indication, no documentation whatsoever that the Prophet ﷺ permitted any woman to be raped. So anybody who's saying that is a liar.
That he allowed his followers to rape their female captives. And so this allowed the Muslim men to rape these captives whose husbands were sitting right there.
They have no documented evidence of anything like that. A prophet does not rape. First,
Bothers me.
When I was wrestling between Islam and Christianity, that to me was the biggest thing, was how in the world can the Quran allow for the raping, it's a rape, of captive women. It's a rape. It's a rape. It's a rape. It's a rape.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
no documentation whatsoever that the Prophet ﷺ permitted any woman to be raped. So anybody who's saying that is a liar.
Do you understand how big our scriptures are? 9 volumes of Sahih Bukhari, and you can't find one instance of rape in there? This is ridiculous. 800 pages of Sahih Muslim, Al-Jalalain, Al-Qurtubi, and no, we're talking literally of millions of pages, and you can't find no rape in there? But you'll never, never find one incident of rape, nor any teaching to justify that. It simply is not there. And the Islamic sources are vast. You can't find one single instance of this in our scriptures, and in spite of the fact of it being so vast. How is it that you cannot find one instance of this? But do you know what this historical evidence does prove? It proves there's a moral teaching out there. There is a moral teaching out there which is preventing these Muslims from engaging, from forcing themselves onto these women. All we have to do is just find it.
The first is in Surah An-Nisa, ayah number 36. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا. Worship God and do not attribute partners to God. So do not say that there are 2 gods, 3 gods, 4 gods. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. And be very pleasing towards your walidain, parents. Ihsan means be well behaved and be the good behaved and act with your parents on the well behaved manner. وَبِذِي الْقُرْبَى, as well as be well behaved to ذِي الْقُرْبَى, your relatives. وَالْيَتَامَى, and orphans. وَالْمَسَاكِينَ, and poor people. وَالْجَارِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى, as well as the neighbor, okay, who is related to you. وَالْجَارِ الْجُنُوب, and also the neighbor who is living next to you, even though if he's not your relative. وَالصَّاحِبِ بِالْجَنْبِ, and your friends who are living around. وَابْنِ السَّبِيلِ, and the strangers, okay, travelers, so be well behaved towards them. وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ, as well as be well behaved towards those who are under your position. It will include slaves and she-slaves. وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ, as well as be well behaved towards those who are under your position. It will include slaves and she-slaves. Okay, so then Allah says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ مَنْ كَانَ مُخْتَالًا فَخُورًا, because indeed Allah doesn't like those who are pride, as well as the people who are just claiming to be great. you know. So she slaves and slaves as that. So Allah is ordering us to be well behaved. Okay. As well as be well behaved towards those who are under your position. It will include slaves and she slaves. Well as be well behaved towards those who are under your position. It will include slaves and she slaves.
No documentation whatsoever that the Prophet ﷺ permitted any woman to be raped. So anybody who is saying that is a liar.
That he allowed his followers to rape their female captives. That
It's a rape. It's a rape. It's a rape. It's a rape. In terms of the ahadith, we did speak about it, if you remember, about the slaves. But anyway, I want to repeat some of them ahadith. So it is authentic hadith in Sunan ibn Majah عن أم سلمة أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يقول في مرضه الذي توفي فيه الصلاة وما ملكت أيمانكم فما زال يقولها حتى يفيض بها لسانه. So the Salama says that when Rasulullah became ill, so the illness of the death, so Rasulullah kept on repeating, saying, as-salat, namaz, prayer, take care of prayer, وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ, and take care of your position, means slaves and she slaves. So then Rasulullah would carry on repeating it till he would mention it for many, many times.
No documentation whatsoever that the Prophet ﷺ permitted any woman to be raped. So anybody who is saying that is a liar.
That he allowed his followers to rape their female captives. That
It's a rape. It's a rape. It's a rape. It's a rape. And the next hadith is by Abu Nu'aym and Ahmad and Ibn Abi Shayba from Ibn Umar. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من ضرب عبده أو لطمه فكفارته عتقه. Anyone who beats his slave or latamahu, slaps on his face, so فَكَفَّارَتُهُ عِتْقُهُ. So purification of that sin is to free him. Okay, so it is that. So normally, because raping, it will be by beating, isn't it? No, I think it's more or less is about exactly what we're talking about. So if you will slap your slave, she's slave, or if you will beat her, so then you're sinful, and purification of that sin, you have to free her. Okay, so more or less it is about what we're talking about.
No documentation whatsoever that the Prophet ﷺ permitted any woman to be raped. So anybody who is saying that is a liar.
That he allowed his followers to rape their female captives. That
It's a rape. It's a rape. It's a rape. It's a rape.
No documentation whatsoever that the Prophet ﷺ permitted any woman to be raped. So anybody who is saying that is a liar.
That he allowed his followers to rape their female captives. That
It's a rape. It's a rape. It's a rape. It's a rape.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
No documentation whatsoever that the Prophet ﷺ permitted any woman to be raped. So anybody who's saying that is a liar.